Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Yo, what's good?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
What's up, man? I feel like I ain't seen you in forever, man. What's up, man?
Well, you know, I was on a fantastic voyage.
Yeah, man, you've been out here doing big things, man. Winning
You know what?
championships.
Let's get some points for us coming back after 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's your boy Scotty B.
All right, so we have been gone for a while, and it's been a lot that's happened. You know, Deshaun Watson. You know, camps have started. Hard Knocks has. Please tell me you saw the first episode.
I did see the first episode.
We gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the first episode.
Oh my God!
So look, you know, normally each year I talk about Hard Knocks, and I. You know, like you'll always catch up like later, like you don't never really watch it like when it first like comes on. So I'm always a little reluctant to like talk about it because like you hadn't seen the episodes. All right, so I want to say this one thing before I get your opinion. I think Dan Campbell reminds me of you as a coach.
I knew you were going to say that. Hey yo, go ahead. I want to hear this.
Yo, so when I saw Dan Campbell, and I mean in the opening credits, number one, it sounded like a speech you would have for your players, right? So I was like, all right, I can see that. But so look, right, and we have to get into this. After watching that episode, it made me feel like Detroit can make the playoffs.
Hey, listen.
I don't know why. They made me want to root for them just off of that first episode.
One episode, yo.
One episode.
All right, so I'm with you. I was like, I said, yo, this dude doing up downs with him. Now I tell you what, I don't know if I got any up downs in. You know, I may not do up downs. I may do some cardio. Which I have. I have once. But I liked it, yo. I think that I don't really like to use the word players coach, right? But I think that he is a guy that that guys are gonna love to play for. You know, will that eventually get old? I don't know, because he holds them accountable. He looks like he's you know what it looks like? He played in the league. It looked like he's a former player that is in touch with the players.
Yeah, it's all his coaching. His entire coaching staff is like a dream team of just coaches, and it's funny because it's like you look at his coaching staff and you remember all those guys as players, and you remember. Like the Mark Brunels, the Randall L's, the Deuce Staley's, and I mean they were good players. Maybe not great. Maybe not necessarily. I think Mark Brunell might have had a couple of Pro Bowls in there, but
sure,
those guys.
Aaron was one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah, no, I mean they have a team that those guys had longevity at in the pros. Like they were professionals. Maybe they weren't the star players, but they definitely weren't scrubs. And right. I think for a while with football, we're chasing these like geniuses or these boy wonders or these guys that can't come up with these crazy schemes or all this stuff. And sometimes you just want a coach that has been through the grind, and can basically tell you from experience. So I see that out of this team. I think this team could be pretty good, man. Not Super Bowl or nothing, but I really do feel like they can make some noise.
So I'm gonna save my commentary in regards to what I think that they will do for our preview show, which is coming up, I think, in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll save my, as far as where I see them finishing and things of that nature. But I do like what I see in regards to like culture and changing culture in Detroit. I mean, for all we know, they may win 4 games this year, right? But one thing that we will know is that, or that we see, is that those guys are going to play for him. And if you have a coach like that the guys are going to play for, they're going to win some. They're going to win their fair share of games. So going full pads day one, that's nobody does that anymore. Nobody.
But one thing I'll say about this, I know you say you'll touch on the record after we kind of get done. If you look at the NFC, there are spots to be had in the NFC. Like it's seven spots. It's maybe 3, possibly 4 lock-in teams that you're like, okay, they're going to make the playoffs. A lot of those spots, like I said, and we've seen it before, year to year in the NFL, it just changes. The landscape changes. Absolutely. Like you have a couple of teams that you're like, dang, I didn't see them being good, but they just creep up and they surprise you. The one thing I'll say about Detroit last year was they were competitive in a lot of their games. They lost a lot, but they did play the teams to the end. Right. And like I said, a couple of different turnovers, couple of different plays that bounced their way, those could have easily been wins. And who's to say that those don't go their way this year?
And a lot of times that's what happens. Like, look, and you remember this against Baltimore. What was it, a 65-yarder?
Oh, the field goal kick. Yeah,
the field goal. And
yeah.
I mean, and so it's like they had a string of bad luck. And I think that, the ball bounces this way, that way, and now you have a team that's fighting for that 7th playoff spot, that wild card spot. So there's some teams that have taken. Just looking at division, Green Bay, they don't have any receivers. It's just like their receiving core is just Minnesota is looking good. I think the coaching change is good, and the Bears are probably going to be they're going to be last place in the division. So they have an opportunity. I won't say.
You think the Bears are going to be last place in the division?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the Bears are clearly the worst team in that division. I can name all the worst teams in each division, yo.
So I will say this, right? All right. So Roquan Smith. Let's get into that, right? Mm-hmm. So the Bears are acting like they don't want to pay him top dollar. What are your sentiments about that?
I just had an argument with one of our guys yesterday in regards to Roquan Smith, and him getting paid. He's a baller, right? And I think that you should play your. I know certain positions you don't want to pay because they may not be the fantasy type, whatever. And I think that if you got a guy that can play sideline to sideline, even if he is off ball, as an off ball linebacker, you definitely pay him. Now, Chicago has historically had bad front office type behavior. They have a new front office, but I have no reason to believe that this front office is any more competent than the last front office. Now, we don't know because we haven't seen him, but have they really helped Justin Fields?
Oh no.
Exactly. They didn't really get any they didn't really upgrade at receiver. They maybe upgraded a little bit on the O-line, but they didn't really help that team. That team is going to be a 5-6 win team at the most. You know, and if I was Roquan Smith, I would want to get out of there too, because the structure is terrible. He's one of your best players. And at this point, you need as many good players as you can get. And they don't have enough. They just don't have enough good players. And it's unfortunate because I think Justin Fields he's ultimately, because he got drafted to Chicago, he's just gonna he won't last.
So it's interesting, right? So you look at the way each sport pays their players, right? Mm-hmm. So you take a sport like baseball. Baseball pays you based off of like how good you are at your position, right? So if you're the best at your position, you're going to get more money. Like I think I heard the example of if you're a hitting catcher and there's no other hitting catchers, you're going to reset the market at the catcher position. Doesn't matter if you play catcher, or if it's first base, or if it's outfield. If you're the best at your position, you get paid accordingly. You look at football, and you always hear it, whether or not it's I don't want to pay my safety that much, or I don't want to pay my running back that much, or the other one is linebacker, or maybe I don't want to pay my tight end. My question to you is, should it matter your position, or should it just go off of just your performance?
I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like when it comes, because especially in football, I mean, when it comes to certain positions are more important than the others, and quarterback, left tackle, defensive end, some sort of pass rusher, and corner. So those guys are probably the most. That's like an exclusive club right there. So if you one of the best at one of those positions, you're gonna get top dollar. Now where it it lands is like you have somebody like a Roquan Smith who is an off-ball linebacker, and they kind of put you in this box, and it's like, well, you can't do anything else. Which me personally believe that in this day and age, and him as a guy, he can do other things if need be. He hasn't had the chance to. But what I can tell you that he has been an All-Pro the last 2 years. So you're telling me that this guy who's 24 years old, All-Pro the last 2 years, shouldn't get paid because he's an off-ball linebacker? No. Pay that man, and
but again, what goes back to what you're saying though is it's incompetence, right? Mm-hmm. So you have an opportunity to lock up a young linebacker. You lock up the young linebacker, and who knows, maybe you draft some other pieces and you start building something. But if you're consistently resetting because you're just making just crazy decisions because you don't want to pay this guy top dollar, and if you look at it, I really think that they can make the money work in this situation. I think that he probably wants $20 million a year. But I think they could probably get by with giving him $19 or $18 million a year. They could play some they could make some things happen with how they structure the contract. I mean, we saw it with Deshaun Watson. And it's a nice transition to talk about Deshaun Watson, but what the Browns were able to do in his contract situation.
So hold on 1 second. Let me get one more point about the Bears, right? And here's the last thing, and probably the biggest problem I have with the Bears is that what are you focusing on, right? So you got a new coach, you got a new GM, and you have a bad team. But what is your focus? Are you gonna focus on the defense? Are you gonna focus on the offense? What is your focus? I don't think that they've really had a clear-cut focus, because if you have a focus, then and your focus is you want to rebuild the offense. You want to then you're gonna get the O lineman that you want. You get you eventually you get the receivers, and you show something. To me, it didn't feel like they did anything to get like better or whatever. So
they didn't do much.
Yeah. So so to Deshaun, now you say about Deshaun Watson and his contract, he's had in regards to his contract, he's only going to get paid about $1 million this year, which is pretty much they knew he was going to have some sort of suspension, and they're saving him some money. So as a team, well, they already know what what it is. They're like, we're trying to win now, right? And if it's not like right now, it's next year now. so they know that they have a really, really small window because Nick Chubb is a running back, and he is one of the better running backs in the league, but he's been taking a pounding. Kareem Hunt, you don't know, but now you got Deshaun Watson, who's ultimately going to miss a full year and maybe a half or a third. We don't know. And his contract is really player friendly. And a lot of owners don't like that contract.
No, they shouldn't like it. I mean, the Browns, if you're so I think most of us gave kudos to the Browns for thinking and doing what they had to do to get Deshaun Watson. But if I'm like the Ravens owner, or and I'm looking at what I've got to pay out for Lamar Jackson now because the Browns have managed to reset the market, yeah, I'm pissed. Or some of the other quarterbacks. Who else is up for contract? I know Lamar offhand.
Well, Kyler just got his money. I mean, Lamar Jackson is really the main quarterback that's waiting to get paid. Everybody else either has gotten paid or they're not due yet. Yeah, you got Justin Herbert. But most of if you think of like the top quarterbacks, for the most part, they all have been paid except for Lamar Jackson. Just look at them. So unless they're young and a rookie.
But look at what they had to do with Kyler Murray because of this. Like, he got more money because of Deshaun Watson.
And here's the thing. I'm not mad at it. Like, Lamar Jackson was going to get that money regardless. Whatever he's going to get, I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson gets a $300 million contract.
He's going to get something because I believe he's going to come out and he's going to ball out and he's going to force them to pay him.
Does he get the contract before the season starts?
The smart thing would do to get him a contract before the season starts.
Yeah, because first of all, he looks like he's in great shape.
Right.
I mean, and so if they learn from some of these other teams, learn from the Cowboys. The Cowboys could have saved themselves almost damn near $40 million, $40 to $60 million, had they paid that the year before last. But I agree. I think that he signs before the season starts, and I think that he's going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. He's gonna per year. So, and that's more than Aaron Rodgers. So then Aaron Rodgers is gonna sit out the rest of the year until he gets a new contract because he wants to be the highest paid. So he's gonna redo his contract every time somebody passes.
Hey, let's go back to Deshaun Watson for a second.
Okay.
He got the 6-game suspension.
Right.
The NFL decided that Roger Goodell he weighed in and said he thinks that he deserves a year. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I am still unsure. I think that he should have gotten fined. I do think that he should have gotten fined. I'm not one to say I think he should get a full year, right? I I know he didn't play last year, and I know it wasn't a suspension. I get that, but I'm more of a 12 games. I think 10 to 12 games is and a fine. And you'll be and you go with what you go with, because this is a real touchy subject, because I know people say, and I personally, I'm one of the guys, or one of the people, that just because you settle don't mean that you're guilty. But because there's so many people, and because he had 66 massage therapists, it just seems a little weird. But I think you give him 10 to 12 games, a hefty fine. He has to go to counseling and some other things, and you call it a day and you move on and let's play football. I don't want it to just be, it's just about football, because all of those women who were victims, they got paid.
So I'll take a different route, right? Okay. So what I don't like about this, and it's nothing that you said, everything that you said is spot on, and I agree 100%. But what I don't like is I feel like the NFL is not focusing on punishing Deshaun Watson, but they're focusing on punishing the Browns. Like, I feel like they want this suspension more for what the Browns were able to pull off. Like, they feel like the Browns may have got one over on everybody, and and I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to appease a lot of the owners and appease a lot of the just NFL community by saying, you know what, we're going to get over on the Browns, right? So if we suspend them for the rest of the year, or this coming year, or we suspend them for 12 or 10 games, you didn't get over. Now you don't have your quarterback for another year, and you gave up your other quarterback. And all the points that you mentioned about, Chubb, he's been taking a beating, and the time being, a little bit now, and if he sits out 12 games or he sits out another year, there's concerns about how much rust he would have, because 2 years is a long time to not
absolutely
at the highest level. So you start to look at if he does come back and he's not the same, you got the Browns that are on the hook for all that money. So I just feel like it's the NFL's way of punishing the Browns opposed to punishing Deshaun Watson.
So here's the other thing. He's actually gonna be able to play in the preseason. So he's gonna start the first preseason game against the Jaguars. As crazy as it sounds, I'm interested to see how much he plays, because normally, the starting quarterback is going to play, especially the first preseason game. He probably play a series, So I'm interested to see how much they have him play. Is he going to play a couple series, a quarter, a half? What are they going to do? That's going to be the interesting part about this offseason. But in regards to him getting suspended, and the other thing is the other owners, and watch it up, they don't really like the ownership of the Browns either. They're not really fond of it. So you got somebody like Haslam, who's the owner of the Browns, and you got Jerry Jones. Those are two separate ends of the spectrum. Most of the owners and Roger Goodell, as much as Jerry Jones may get on his nerves, they all respect him and appreciate him and things of that nature. Then you have Haslam is like, man, this guy, you know, as bad as the Browns were, it was they wouldn't pay anybody. They was sticking with losing. It was like they was almost not even trying to get better on purpose. So it just seems to me that they're gonna end up getting as much as they can, Roger Goodell, as much as he can, like you said, they're gonna try and stick it to the Browns as much as possible. And mainly because they don't like what he did in regards to the contract, and they just don't rock with him.
So what I would do if I was in the Brown situation, I'd play him as much as I could in the preseason. You know, I'd put pressure on the NFL because if he looks good, it might be the pressure to let him play. So we'll see. So
yeah. Go ahead.
I want to pivot. Kevin Durant.
Say pivot basketball. I see what you did. You know, let's get stack some points real quick. Hold on one second. Okay.
The Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. What'd you think about his comments of saying, if you want to keep me, you got to get rid of Steve Nash and Sean Marks, GL?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I am not mad at it, and here's why. Steve Nash seems to be overwhelmed. I'm not going to call him a bad coach. I just think that he's not handling this situation really well. I think that this job may be a little bit too much for him, you know, especially as a first-time head coach, you know, and he hasn't really done a good job. Now, it's interesting because didn't Kevin Durant sign off on Steve Nash getting the job and Kyrie? So I'm not mad at the owner. I actually applaud the owner for holding down his general manager and his head coach. Now, do I think that Steve Nash should be fired or something he should be held accountable? Absolutely. You know, they have to. I don't think that his seat is hot enough. I think that he's good right now. You know, and I guess the excuse that they're gonna give is that Kyrie had the vaccine stuff. KD was hurt, and James Harden ended up leaving because he ultimately seen the writing on the wall. So the biggest problem I have with KD is that he looks like a crybaby. You know,
yes.
He looks like a crybaby because it's like he's not getting his way, and at the end of the day, it's like this. People can say what they want about LeBron. He's never asked to be traded, ever. You know, he may leave. You know, but he's leaving once he opts out or his contract is over. They can say what they want about Kobe, but although Kobe asked for a trade, Kobe ass ain't go nowhere. He stayed right there. Then I mean, and then there's other superstars that you would compare to a KD. Look at Steph. Can't nobody tell me that if Steph had the opportunity to leave, he could have opted out. He could have did whatever, but he stayed. He said, "Nah, we gonna get through this. It is what it is." Kevin Durant seems like every time things get a little bit kind of testy and it's a little hot, it's fire, I gotta run. I gotta get out of here because this ain't the thing for me. And this is probably the first time in Kevin Durant's career where he's like, he's like the main guy. Well, no, he's always been the main guy, but he's the one that has to answer all the questions about the team. He's the face of the franchise. Because when they were in OKC, and it was him and Westbrook, and because Harden was a six man, he didn't really. But when it was him and Westbrook, Westbrook took the brunt of all of those the questions and the blame. Because if you look at when they lost to Golden State, when they was up 3-1, you could have put a lot of blame on Kevin Durant, but they put a lot of blame on Russell Westbrook. So right now if I was Kevin Durant, or if I was an advisor of Kevin Durant, my advice to him, especially with him having 4 years left, my advice to him would be stay. Because if y'all don't win next year, well, Steve Nash is gonna get fired anyway. So it is what it is. If he leaves now, which Boston wants him. I even read something about him going to Philly. Miami's always around there. My thing is, you go to those places, and you may be the best player, but you're still gonna have those question marks over you, and it's gonna you went to the Nets to team up with Kyrie and lead this team to a championship, and you haven't gotten out the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, like you just said, I mean, this my main point is at this point, where are you going to go? Like you said, they're talking about Boston, and I'm just looking like, man, you doing all this to go to Boston? Or he's talking about Philly, and like you said, you're doing all this to go to Philly? Like what are you really doing? You know what I mean? Like, you want to go play with Harden and be like, what's really going on? And I don't feel like he's given his situation like a full chance. Like last year, we kind of get what happened with Kyrie. That wasn't his fault. The year before, they were just all injured and they really couldn't play together. The year before that, it was just he was injured and Kyrie was hurt. So, you got an opportunity to where everybody can come back healthy. You've got some pretty solid pieces and supporting cast that you're able to get for James Harden. Why not just ride with that, see what's going on? And like you said, if they don't win, then they'll get rid of the GM and they'll get rid of the Steve Nash on his own. I do feel like that Steve Nash, we don't know what Steve Nash has had to put up with behind closed doors. That's the one defense that I'll give him. Because if this is what he has to put up, what we're hearing in public, I couldn't imagine what a brat this guy is behind closed doors.
Yeah. Talking about KD,
KD, Kyrie. I mean,
I was about to say, I think Kyrie is
like all of them, man. James Harden, and I mean, we said it before, and I think a lot of us didn't think that it was possible for them not to be good just with the level of talent. But the one if that everybody had about James Harden, Kyrie, and KD was that's a lot of personalities, man. And we don't know if it can make it work. And I mean, lo and behold, they proved a lot of people right, because a lot of people said, man, that can't work.
So, and I don't know if we really got I don't know if we've really got a chance to really see them at full strength. If Kevin Durant stays healthy, right? If Kevin Durant stays healthy, and then you have Kyrie get a vaccine or whatever, just the two of them, forget James Harden, can they make a deep playoff run? Because I personally think they could, even with the team that they have right now. Adding Royce O'Neal, you still got some of those shooters. Can they make a run? I mean, they've been They were a second round team already. So if you got those two healthy guys, can you make a run past the second round? Forget championship. Can you get to the conference championship?
So with their current team, so here's the problem, and this is what I figured out. Right, it's not necessarily talent; it is all the way coaching. I don't know what coach you can bring in that they are going to respect enough to listen to. I don't even know if Steve Kerr could get all three of those guys to play together on the same page in the buy-in. You know, he does a fantastic job out there with Golden State, but Steph, Clay, Draymond, and even when they had KD, they all buy in and they all play selfless. You know what I mean? Like Curry gets his shot. Like everybody like pretty much plays the system. They understand like somebody's hot. They'll feed that person the ball. Like they'll do whatever they need to do to win first. I don't know if you can get those three guys to buy into anything together collectively. And I don't know what coach could do it. I'm thinking of Phil Jackson, but I don't think he could get those three guys to buy in. No, I seriously don't. I don't.
Be tough.
Huh? Yeah, it's going to be really, really, really tough to get somebody in there that can manage their egos, get them to understand that it's not about them, and win, and get the team on the same page.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna find out. So my question to you is: does Kevin Durant get traded? So wait, I got one for you. Does he get traded before the season season starts?
No.
No.
Nope.
So they roll with Kyrie and KD.
I think what you're going to have to see is almost like a James Harden situation. Like it has to get worse before it gets better. Like it's got to be in the instant, because right now we haven't talked about it, but Rudy Gobert, right? Everybody talks about how he reset the market. So everybody is saying like, okay, you got Kevin Durant, obviously better than Rudy Gobert. You know, he's got to be worth more. And I do believe that there are teams that are willing to pay more, but it's not necessarily the teams that Kevin Durant wants to go to. So if the season starts, I believe that once the season starts and things are still going bad, the Nets will possibly lower their asking price. And other situations may occur to where right now it's just Boston, Miami, and the 76ers, but maybe the Suns get a little bit more desperate, or maybe some of these other teams that are on the cusp have different packages that they could throw at the Nets, and KD is willing to say, you know what, I'm going to waive my trade clause. I'll go there and play, and figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if that happens, I'm going to laugh. If KD gets traded to the Knicks, which will never happen. That's not
going to happen. He'll veto that joint. He ain't going. And I wish he would. I mean, this is not a lot of good situation. I mean, it's good situations, but a championship's not going to be handed to him, right? So pretty much every situation that he goes to, it's going to be a little bit of work. I mean, it's not a lot of teams that have two superstars of the caliber that he's playing with, and can give the Nets the assets that it would need to obtain KD and not blow the team up to where they could still be competitive and still push for a championship. It's a lot. It's asking a lot, you know, and take on a 4-year contract.
Damn. So, well, I'll say this. KD is going to be for his legacy. He should stay put. For his legacy, he should stay put because if you go to Boston, folks are going to look at you like you went to Golden State. I mean, they just lost the championship. It's the same thing, except they didn't win 73 freaking games. But for his legacy, he should stay in Brooklyn and try and make it work in Brooklyn. But I highly doubt he's going to stay because basketball players are divas. They are the biggest divas in sports. And I ain't mad at it. It is what it is. All right, so let's get to the winner of the week.
No winner. There's been so many things, but I want to use this moment to talk about something.
Okay. All right.
Nah. Real talk. We never got to touch on the Brittany Griner situation.
The winner of the week right there.
Yeah. So
not Brittany Griner,
but yeah, that whole situation in the 9.5.
Music or no?
Nah, I ain't gonna play.
No, go ahead. No,
we just go right into it, man. She's got 9.5 years. And I think we all understand like the politics of it, and we understand why she got the 9.5 years. Like it didn't really necessarily have to deal with her crime, and it's Russia trying to get other prisoners, and trying to negotiate, and that she's a bargaining chip.
Mm-hmm.
My question for you. And this is the question that everybody's been asking themselves is, could the U.S. and President Biden done more to get Brittany Griner?
Well, it's tough when she's on their soil and they're not negotiating in good faith. So it's tough. Like, here's the thing. I don't know how many people knew that there were prisoners that you could do prisoner swaps, and because I'm sure that there's not a lot of people that know that, or anything of that of that sort. In this case, we know what it is. They want to, they're negotiating to get some of their criminals back, and I feel should they do more now? I think they have to. At this point, they have to get Brittany Griner back home. 9.5 years. I guess the positive is that, in the jail, she's won the reports are she's won everybody over from the guards to the inmates. She's won them all over in the prison. Yeah, they have to. They have to because honestly, Brittany Griner for WNBA is equivalent to, say, I don't want to say LeBron, but I'll say Steph or Clay, or she was one of the most popular.
She's top, one of the top players.
So, or maybe KD. I'll say KD. I'll say she's. So I mean, at this point, you have to, and I think that not only does the different leagues need to put more pressure on the State Department, but more political figures need to put more pressure on the State Department and do what they have to do to get her back. If they want those two guys back, there has to be more. Those guys can't come back to the U.S. I mean, and I think I'm serious. Like, they step foot on U.S. soil, they get shot in the head.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought that they would have just made the deal Of course, like you said, man, there's just so much more that goes into it, and so much
Right.
more in the background. But I wouldn't have thought that it was as difficult as they made it seem to get her back. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's a prisoner swap. You know, the guy, he's doing time in Germany, and it's just kind of like you couldn't figure out a way to get that deal done to get her. I tell you one thing, I won't be stepping foot in Russia.
Nah, I had no desires to go before this. I definitely don't have.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
Now.
Yeah, I don't have any desires before. I'm definitely not going now, man. It's just, I guess the lesson in all this is we do take some of our freedoms here a little bit for granted, man. They don't be playing no games in other countries, man.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You know, we because we've seen unfair crap here too. So it's not like it's unusual. We've seen unfair tactics or law tactics that where you may have a simple crime, but you get the max, which might be 10 years for something that most people are getting, 30 days in jail and doing weekend time, but somebody else may get the max for whatever reason, so it happens, but this is like, come on, dog. She 9.5 years is
9.5, bro.
It's ridiculous.
9.5. I mean,
so,
yeah, it's
crazy. I mean, the only solution is to get her back. I don't think that there's the mic is crazy. Yeah, we need you for a blunt, not about. But anyway, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Brittney Griner, and I hope that they find a way to have this done before Labor Day. That would be,
So you just posted something from my guy Money Mike. Yo, it is nothing. No. I ain't got no bets from Money Mike, man. I'm good, man. I saw that bet, and I saw that those bets being made, and you know what? I just looked. I was hoping my picture didn't even pop up like I even saw the message, because I wanted none of that smoke that was going around. But it's just super exciting, man. Football getting underway. Everybody's rooting for their teams. Everybody's putting up bets. Everybody's thinking their teams are going to be pretty good. How do you feel about your team?
My team?
Yeah, your team. How do you feel
about Dallas Cowboys?
The Dallas Cowboys. How do you feel?
I feel great. So here's the thing. So the Cowboys get scrutinized more than any other team in the league. Do we agree there?
Yes, they get scrutinized.
Yeah, you had to think about that. Cowboys get scrutinized more than any other team. There are people watching right now that know more guys on the Cowboys than on their own personal teams.
Okay, I'll agree. They are get scrutinized. Okay, go ahead, move forward with your point.
You rushing me?
Now, with
that being said, the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East easily. I said that last year, right? Remember, I said we were going to go 12-5, and the 3 yard I was on there. Don't forget, NFL preview show is coming soon. We're actually going to be in the same rooms. Let me make sure y'all see this. I have absolutely no problem with it. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So with that being said, I like the way our team looks. Our D-line is going to be dominant this year. I don't see a problem with it. we had a good defense last year, and I think that we're gonna get better. I think adding Anthony Barr is to me is a big deal. I've always been an Anthony Barr fan since college. But yeah. So I feel great about my team. Huh?
I do got a question. You guys' depth at receiver, does that scare you a little bit?
Not at all. Not at all. I think that we'll get Gallup back. We'll get we got the young boy. James Washington is hurt. When he got hurt, you would have thought that we lost Michael Irvin. So I'm fine with what we have now. If we add somebody, that I'm cool with that too. But Gallup will be back within the first month of the season. Is no big deal. Does that put more pressure on Dak? Absolutely. But who cares? Who cares? I mean, he's getting paid big money. He gotta play big, and I mean, we've seen him play amazing. So, Zeke's healthy. We still got Pollard who's looking to get a new contract. CD's gonna step into that number one position. I'm fine. Here's the thing that the first round lineman, he looks damn good. So, I mean, people could say what they want. Watch what happens with the Cowboys.
So let me ask you a question. You brought up Zeke. Right now, I have this as a make or break year for him. I think if he has a bad year, the Cowboys are going to cut bait with him. If he has a good year, he's solid. Do you think that the Cowboys will cut bait with him if he has a bad year, or do you think they keep him?
Nah, they keep him. They'll probably restructure. They'll probably restructure his contract, and like they normally do. No big deal, man. Ain't a worry in the world. You want me to give you the record now? You want me to wait to the preview show?
I want you to wait to the preview show. I'm excited about my 49ers too, man. I'm following
as you should be.
Training camp, and we look good.
So what about Trey Lance?
I like him. I think he is going to. He's not going to really surprise many people. I think most people are thinking that he's going to be pretty solid, but I think he's going to be really solid this year.
Okay.
The only team. Go ahead.
Go ahead. My fault. No, go ahead. Finish. My fault.
Now, the only team I'm really worried about in our division is the Rams, the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
I think you should be worried about Arizona. I think you should be worried about Arizona.
This is why I'm not worried about Arizona just yet. I think DeAndre Hopkins being out, having that suspension, is going to play a vital role in their success. I think that's gonna hurt them. Maybe not enough to knock them out the playoffs or whatnot, but I think they take a step back with him being out.
Okay, so I want to do something different, yo. We've never done this before. I'm gonna post a link. I want the people that are watching, you'll get an opportunity to come on live with us and post a link, and you can talk about. So we got like about 5 minutes left, right? You can come on, click the link. We'll let you. We ain't gonna vet you, and you get a chance to talk about your team, or you don't have to show up at all. You can throw out a team. You can throw a team out there, and we'll bash them. We'll bash them for you. So I think that I saw somebody say something about the Giants. The Giants are going to be the worst team in that division. I think the Giants are going to win maybe 5 games. I think it's going to be 4. I think the Giants are going to be bad. I did see a highlight of Saquon running the linebacker over there, and I think Saquon, if he stays healthy, they'll win 6. You know, you got let's see who I think is coming in last in the NFC West. I'm just doing the last place team. Seattle. I think Seattle is going to struggle. If they get Jimmy G, I think that helps them. But to me, I think the 49ers are crazy if they trade Jimmy G in the division.
And we're not.
Yeah. So let me see if I can get this link because I guess Jermaine can't get the link. I'll make sure I get it. But NFC North, we said the Bears. NFC South. I'm actually going to say the Falcons are going to be the last place team in that division. The Falcons ends up being the last place team in that division.
Okay, you don't have a disagreement with me there.
Yeah, I think that the Panthers are going to be. Yeah. See, this is. See now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, here it go again, with Baker Mayfield, but. If they get Jimmy G, oh my bad. If the Panthers, if what's his name, McCaffrey stays healthy, I think that the Panthers could be all right. Now I don't know if they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think they could be all right.
Yeah, I got Matt Rule losing his job game 10. Yeah. I think
right.
I think Carolina everybody chase him out of town.
Mike, the link has been posted. I know you're a Bills fan. I want to hear what you got to say about your Bills. They got a target on their back. They are the hunted and not the hunter. In the AFC East. In the AFC East. Should I no screw it. I think the worst team in that division will be the New England Patriots.
So look, I'm this. I don't want to necessarily agree with you, because you still got the Jets in that division.
The Jets are gonna be good, yo.
Yeah, what I've been hearing out of training camp for the Patriots is not good. It is not good. They say the offense is struggling out there, and so. From the reports, this draft class that they had doesn't seem like a good draft class. And then Bill Belichick, smartest guy in the room, best coach in NFL history. What are you doing without an offensive coordinator? What are you doing over there?
I heard somebody say that he's trying to sabotage the team. Don't know how true it is. But
running with an offensive coordinator is a good way. Like I don't care how smart or brilliant of a coach you are, not having an offensive coordinator is not. It's not bright. Like it's just like what do you? I don't get it.
Yeah,
he's got guys that coach defense, coaching offense. Like I hear you got Joe Judge out there, Matt Patricia coaching the offense, and it's just I don't know, Bill, and maybe. So where do you think the Patriots are going to be? You think they're going to be last place?
I just said it. I didn't study either.
Yeah, it all falls.
So in the NFC, look, AFC North. Here's the teams you got. You got Cleveland. You got Cincinnati. You got Pittsburgh. You got Baltimore. You want to know who I got last?
Okay, you said Cincinnati, the Browns, the Ravens, Pittsburgh. You're going with Pittsburgh. If I know you. Going with Pittsburgh.
That's going to be in last place?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Only agree with that because.
Go ahead.
Nah, I agree with that. I think if Deshaun Watson sits out, Jacoby Brissett comes in. I think Jacoby Brissett has been a serviceable starter. This Browns team is a lot better than the Indianapolis team, so I think he could still win some games in there. I am not sold on what Pittsburgh has done with the quarterback situation.
Okay. So look,
And-
Scott, before we even continue, hold on. I hate to cut you off because I know you're about to go in on those 3 quarterbacks in Pittsburgh, but we got company.
Okay, bring them on.
And when we got, I gotta make sure before y'all come in here, make sure y'all take your shoes off at the door. Don't, you know what I mean? All right, hopefully y'all wore socks. We got
Mike.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah. Oh, well, we got main focus. What's up?
all right. So I ain't giving y'all a lot of time.
That's how you gonna start it off.
Absolutely. So
sit killer, sit killer.
Oh my God.
Sit killer. All right, I got my little Martin episode, my Martin dog with me.
Hey, that's my favorite episode, yo. That's my favorite all-time episode of Martin, yo.
Hey,
I think
Mike.
that's everybody's favorite episode.
Yeah, Mike. Welcome back from Jamaica, man. I see you out there rustling crabs, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
All right,
it.
so Mike, we're gonna start with you. No. Your team is actually good. Hey, Jermaine.
Damn, Jermaine.
Jermaine, talk about your team. So first of all, you're a Giants fan, right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry to hear that. All right, so again, but we don't care. So what do you think your team is gonna do this season? And try and be as non-biased as possible.
I'm not biased at all. I speak the facts. So, and this is for any team. Like, you get a new coach, you get a new GM. It's always that unknown, So, let's start with the roster. What were the things that was bugging the Giants? Injuries. So let's start with the injuries. So you had Saquon about 2 years removed from the ACL. You had Daniel Jones who's been kind of nicked up, some self-employed on himself and some on the O-line, some would say. But this is probably the first time since Saquon been drafted that the Giants been healthy. But once again, this is his 4th offensive coach that he got to learn a new system.
He played quarterback. He played running back.
No, I'm just saying this is where the Giants are at. It's so many question marks. So you saying, are we the worst team in the division? Yeah, compared to our contemporaries and the additions and stuff. Yeah, but
so give me a win total.
Huh? Give me a win total.
Mm-hmm.
How about I give you a high and a low? We give you a high and low, and this is me putting my team on the line. If we stay healthy, I'll be the first to say we can win the division. And that's when I say if Daniel Jones, they could protect Daniel Jones and play with this new offense, because for the first time, this offense actually looked not old. We had Jason Garrett, and I'm pretty sure you know how Jason Garrett coaches the Cowboys 8-8. So, and we are the so-called NFC East, or at least however you want to say it. I say this division, and I'm not going to sit here and not show love to the Eagles. The Eagles made some great offense.
Hey, yo, we ain't talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the Giants. Don't just
But I tell you, I said we win the division, and it's going to be who wins the division. It's going to be 8. It's going to be a 9-win team that wins the division. Because I say last year Dallas
you're embarrassing me,
No, I'm being realistic. Dallas had a pretty weak schedule last year. Look at the record. Look at the schedule. Are we going to answer that?
I tell you what we will answer. if the Giants win the division, we definitely have to play back to Sape.
Yeah,
We got to run it back to
but
Sape.
like I said, if we get another, what we had the last couple of years, yeah, we're going to be the last team in the division. Yes, we are.
Y'all have the worst quarterback in the division. What do you think?
Yeah,
about? Y'all have the worst. There's nothing to think about.
Yeah, but it's a lot of variables.
Y'all have the worst O-line. Y'all have the worst O-line in the division.
But we addressed the O-line this offseason.
I feel like you guys trust the offensive line every season.
Yeah, I think this group that got brought in, they know what to do. They don't sound old-fashioned.
And y'all wearing Bills jerseys this year. And y'all wearing Bills jerseys this year.
Yeah, that is true too. I saw those jerseys. I saw.
Y'all trying to duplicate what the Bills did, man. Y'all took some of our staff. So one thing I tell you, Daboll, his offense is complicated. I don't think Daniel Jones is smart enough and has the arm strength to fix any type of mistakes. So I think Josh Allen made Daboll look pretty good because he can hit an open receiver from anywhere on the field. Can Daniel Jones do that?
He's shown he could do that, but it all starts with the guys up top.
Not Josh Allen's arm strength. Josh Allen, the thing with him was he's always had a phenomenal arm. He just had to work on his touch and his precision passing. Once he got his accuracy in order, then he was able to kind of flourish.
And we could have drafted him too, but like I said, organizations make the decisions.
All right. So we appreciate. All right. Let's since the three of us over here, our teams actually have won divisions in the last decade. But anyway, Mike.
What about championships though?
Okay.
None of our teams won a championship. So what are you talking about?
You said the last decade, right? If I
didn't win a championship 10 years ago.
Just about, yeah.
No, 10 years ago.
If you're gonna count off 1 year, I mean, we did win.
Hey, you know what happened? Hold on. You know what happened the year after y'all won the Super Bowl? Y'all ain't make the playoffs.
We didn't pay our offensive line, and then that's where it really started. We let a lot of.
Hold on. Mike, what's good with you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just ready. I'm ready for this season.
Hold on. Are your walls buffalo blue?
Man, I don't know, man. It might be that color. It's close.
Okay, we see you with the China. All right, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna do what it do, man. We got a revenge tour, man. I think like everything from practice, they talk about how Von Miller just wrecking shop. People keep forgetting that we got Von Miller now. And we got a really good talent, young defensive end on the other side, Greg Russo out of Miami, who played really, really good his defense his first year. So you're gonna see some pressure this year. All the games we lost that were close games, were overtimes where we couldn't put the team away. Wasn't nothing but offense. It was just overtime. We up, not putting teams away. So now we got the closer in, and people forget too, we're gonna get our number one corner, Tre'Davious White back. So that's big. Them games we lost. That game we lost, we didn't have our top cornerback. When we had our top cornerback, we dismantled the Chiefs. And the Chiefs is our own. I feel like the Chiefs and the Chargers is our competition. But I think we got the defense and we got the offense to outplay those teams at this point. So I'm gonna say 13 and 5 this year for 13 and 4. 17 games? Yeah, 13 and 4. Yeah, we'll lose a couple of games. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Let me ask you this: is James Cook the starting running back opening day?
He's the real deal. He's not gonna. We don't like to play rookies off top because that's just how our coaches want everybody to earn it. And with rookies running back, the biggest thing is protecting the quarterback. So we ain't gonna put Josh Allen in a position to get hurt, but he's gonna be on that field. They're talking about how electrifying he is, and he's just like his brother Dalvin, or so he's running away from people. Got another gear, and they're saying they're gonna give him that ball. He's not just the third down receiving back. He's good between the tackles. So, but people forget Devin Singletary, our other running back, was like one of the top rushers the last 7 games of the season in the NFL. You might want to look that up too. So, we good all around. We ready.
Y'all the Super Bowl favorite right now.
Yeah. This ain't just me talking. This ain't just me talking, man. So
no.
We got
I'm
to
with
prove
you.
it.
Do I have you on the Super Bowl? You got to tune in a couple weeks. I'll
No, listen. I don't want you to have us in the Super Bowl. I know you got to keep this going every year. I already know you got to bet against me just because.
Oh no!
Right. Soon as the show starts, it's gonna be I got the Bills exiting the first round.
You know what? Hey, look, fellas, I appreciate it. I know Scott appreciates it, but no, we're not Marcus. We're not doing that. That's all right. We already got their plans for that. Nonetheless, I think that Jermaine, you put the hookah down. No more hookah. I think you got something in your hookah. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot of question marks. But I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna believe that.
Could you give us a number before I get y'all out of here? Could you give us a number?
Yeah, he said 9 and 7.
Or 9 and 8?
9 and 8, yeah.
Oh, 9 and 8. Sorry.
You think 9 and 8 wins that division? Nah,
no.
It happened before.
Y'all wait. Y'all think 9 and 8 wins the NFC?
Not this,
I didn't listen to the ropes. Yeah.
Hey, Marcus Thomas.
Look at that schedule.
Marcus
schedule
Thomas.
easy. It should be more games.
Marcus Thomas.
We're talking our division. We got people who lost receivers. We got people who got new coaches. We got new quarterbacks. It's a lot of movement in that division. There's a lot of question marks. Some teams that drafted kind of curious in the draft. They're like, why you got that guy when you need that guy? So it's a lot of question marks.
I will say this, ropes. We heard it here first. I don't think you hear it.
Hey,
we heard it here.
Hey, the loyalty to a default. But honestly, it's pretty much it's either going to be the Cowboys or the Eagles, just to be objective. But the Eagles are looking good, but the quarterback situation is still a question mark there. And that's the head of the snake. So, but if you look at the talent on that Eagles team, they're probably the most balanced team in our division as far as talent. But the main cog that's supposed to run the show is in Dallas. Dak is that guy in Dallas. But can Zeke get back to his first 3 years in the league, and can Dak continue to elevate and and separate himself? Because a lot of people are questioning if he's a top 5 quarterback.
All right,
with all the money he's getting.
I appreciate y'all. We got to clear some room so we can bring somebody else on because they got a little bit of talk. So thank you guys for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get this. Let's get this dude on here.
Uh-oh. We're coming on.
I want to wear a baseball hat for the football show.
I don't have one of the baseball hats, sir.
That's the Houston Astros.
No, it's definitely the Dallas Cowboys. It's a different color.
That's Houston.
Hey, I'm about to get him up out of here already, yo. So, Marcus, this ain't the what you call it, but what do you think? This is just based on your team. How you feeling about your team and what you think y'all gonna do?
I'm feeling real good about my team right now. I'm feeling real good.
Hey yo.
Hey, look, I already made a bet with you. This
I know, but Jameis got Pusha T braids right now, yo.
I want him to be a thug. I want him to be a thug.
He ain't no that's the most clumsiest thug.
You're right. But hey, he's my guy though. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take him how he is. You know.
So you think he improved?
Back to the question. I feel real good about my team. We loaded everywhere. The only question mark is the head coach and the quarterback. Everywhere else we're loaded. Everywhere. My kicker's back. My kicker was hurt all last year. Ain't that a bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
So you guys winning that division? Y'all winning that division?
You damn right we went in the division. Fuck the Bucks. We own them. Am I lying? Tell me, am I lying? If I'm lying, you please tell me.
So this is the only question mark I got, and it's Jameis Winston. Is he going to be able to stay healthy? He's a little banged up now. Is he going to be able to stay healthy?
Got a foot. He wasn't going to play in the first 2 preseason games anyway, so we're not really mad.
Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
He's going to be the key, man.
Yeah, he's going to be the key. Just listen. When he played last year, we were 5-2. Yeah, he didn't throw for many yards. He was being conservative. Sean Payton had the cuffs on him, but I don't think the cuffs are going to be on him now.
Here's the other thing you got worried about. What is the league going to do with Alvin Kamara? He pretty much beating people up.
We got a team full of thugs.
Yeah, his court date got pushed back. They're talking about it'll probably get pushed back to next season. So he'll probably play.
That's the talk right now. As of right now, yeah, you're right, Scott. That's the talk as of right now. But who knows? It might come in the middle of the season. We don't know. But as of right now, the talk is he should be able to play throughout this whole season.
So you got y'all winning your division at what record?
At 11 wins.
Okay.
At 11 wins, because I think Tampa takes a step back. I think Tampa takes a step back for a few reasons. One is because their defensive line isn't the same. Also, their offensive line isn't the same. They starting center out for the year, and their backup center is out for the year now, as of yesterday. So, and my defensive line is pretty decent. So, who said it? Phil. This was Phil. But yeah, man, I think we'll win the division. 11 wins, 11-12. But I think we had a favorable schedule the first 6 weeks of the season, which should get us off to a real good start. And y'all know, once you get off to a good start, that's your confidence level is high. So I think that'll, flow throughout the season. I feel real good about our team. They just got to make sure Jameis does what he's supposed to do. That's it. So, that's a big question mark, though. That's a big question mark.
Absolutely. So all right. So if you have y'all at 11-6, what do you have the Cowboys? And let's forget the bet. Right? We're just talking now because I just want to.
Cowboys around 9 or 10 games. I think that's being considerate because I think the Cowboys take a small step back, not a big one, but a small step back. I think the Eagles have gotten better than they were last year, and y'all owned the Eagles last year, so I don't think that's going to be the same thing this season. Yeah, that's your opinion. Mine is different.
I think that I don't think we sweep the division, but I think it's either going to be 5-1 or 4-2
in your division.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because we'll sweep we'll sweep the Giants. I have a feeling because you get that you have Washington, and it's something about Wentz and Dak. Like they same drive. They had the Eagles Cowboys thing now with Washington. Yeah. So you know, but I mean that kind of like, I mean he's beaten Wentz every time except for once. You know, so
Wentz got to do better.
and he has. I mean, and Dak rarely ever loses to Washington. I mean, I actually think Dak's only lost to Washington once since he's been in the league. And go figure, it was homecoming weekend. But whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think you guys get off to a slow start. Reason being, I know your first game is your first game Tampa.
First game's Tampa, second game Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think you lose both of those.
I know we win both of those.
Well, we can bet on
you literally just said that Tampa's taking a step back, which I get.
Well, Tampa's taking. Well, see, Tampa could beat y'all. They can't beat us. I mean, that's just the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not lying.
Yeah, I played them twice, yo.
I mean, we I'm not lying. They could beat y'all, but they can't beat us. So I think y'all take y'all have a slow start. Does that carry on throughout your season? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because like you said, you got the Commanders. I'm sorry, the Giants, but I think the Eagles. Some about them Eagles, they look like, on paper. All of this is paper. The Eagles look like the best team in that division.
So I got a question. Y'all bet is better record, right?
Yes.
Better record. Okay. So you're saying that the Cowboys are going to win 10 games, and you're saying the Saints are going to win 11 games.
Yeah.
Be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
And if they have the same record, then it's a wash.
Yeah, it's just a wash. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say unless we play in the playoffs, but.
Well, I mean, that could be added.
That's a whole separate bet. That one's separate.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is a regular season bet.
Yeah,
but
regular season.
Yeah. So I was waiting for one more person, but I guess they're not coming up here. That's fine. So again,
bring my division mate up here. I got something to say to him.
Who's your division mate?
The guy that's a Panthers fan. He's in my division. I got to talk my shit.
Charles?
Yes.
Well, we got to get Charles up. Charles, if you see the link, come through.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
To you guys, to off the record?
It's not happening.
What's your record prediction for your team, Scotty B?
I got 11-5. I mean 11-6. Yeah. I always say it.
You got
we so used to it. We so used to it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I actually think you're not far off. I think Trey Lance will have a decent season. I don't think he'll, blow up the world, or so to say. But I think he'll have a decent season. Shanahan is always mixing it up for your offense, so he's gonna find ways to get Debo the ball, Kittle, etc.
I don't even think
your defense is good.
Going to be the key. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be the key to our offense. Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Okay. Why do you say it? Let me ask you why. Do you think it's because a lot of focus is going to be put on Debo and Kittle?
So, this is what I think. I think if you go back and you look at the statistics when Ayuk came back, Debo's production went down, and he was able to start producing later in the season with Kittle and Debo there. Him and Trey have been working out all year, and right now he's having the best camp of all players. Everybody has recognized it, from Fred Warner to Debo Samuels to Kittle to Trey Lance to Shanahan. They said Brandon Ayuk's game has stepped up tremendously.
I can respect that.
He's going to be that guy. So I think between the health, now everybody has to stay healthy, right? And that's, I guess, for anybody's team. If Kittle is healthy, Debo Samuels is healthy, Lance comes in there, he's healthy, I think the sky is the limit for us. Oh, there you go. There you go.
He like Candyman, yo. You ask and he
Yeah,
show up.
there you go.
He like Candyman.
Woo! What's going on, fellas?
All right, so
What's
before you
up,
go,
what's up?
Charles, before you go, Charles. Hey, Carolina Panthers are my sneaky team this year. Carolina and Detroit are my sneaky
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
teams. I didn't say sneaky teams. I said
Sneaky.
sneaky teams.
He heard him. He heard him right.
Yo, Charles.
Who that heard him?
Hey, Charles, before you say anything,
Yeah.
Ant every year picks a team that he roots for, whether it's the Browns, whether
Or
it's
the Bears.
God, dog, man. Scott the Dream Crusher.
Yeah. Not to you not. Every
Scott
year.
the Dream.
No. Yeah,
Hey, that was bad last year. That was bad, man. But my man was so convinced.
Nagy was the coach of the year. Not
He was so convinced.
Oh no, the year before it was the Browns. You should have heard this guy on the Browns. Yeah.
Oh man.
You know the Browns made the playoffs the year before.
Nah, the year before that. Before it all came together.
Oh.
I was a year too early.
Okay.
I saw the vision a little too early. You know.
Hey, it happens, man.
But the next year they made me look good.
All right, so why are you guys high on the Panthers this year?
Oh yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah. Realistically, I think we're gonna win 9 games. Realistically. New Orleans gonna be our toughest opponent. I'm not thinking about the Bucks at all.
You know, Bucks gonna
Just
kick
be
both
real.
y'all ass. Y'all better chill out.
Can I have my pick?
Better chill out, yo.
No. We own the Bucks. We own the Bucks. Don't do that.
The
Don't do
Panthers
that.
on the Bucks?
Listen. On top of that, I'm just giving my spiel here. I think Dallas wins the division. Giants are gonna be lucky if they win 5 games because they some bums.
Oh.
Ern, I know you listening. The Giants are bums. And Mike, as far as Buffalo, you will be paying me again.
Oh.
So get your money up.
Oh.
Because it's gonna be there. You already know my Cash App. That's how many times I've been winning. You so familiar. That's how many times I've been winning, y'all. He knows my Cash App by heart. He knows where to send it. Bring that money home. The account is waiting.
You sound like you pimping them out.
I have been for the last couple of seasons.
Oh, who's a Giants fan in here?
The Giants fan is Ern and Jay Ducey.
Oh,
Rose.
Yeah, Rose.
Ooh, he said, "Watch
no matter
your
what,
mouth, Charles."
Hey, you can say what you want, but we know what the reality is. So you already know the Cash App, Mike. Pay up. You can do it in advance, man. That's all. You can do an advance payment and call it a day. You know, Mike. When it comes to the seasons, I own you.
Hey, look. Hey,
and this comment will age well.
Do y'all remember when Mike was paying Charles for the
yes.
bet? That he put it the tagline of the Cash App for the hoes. I hope your wife sees this.
Man. And then last season he was just straight up F you.
T, tell him T, the Bucks take a step back. We own them fuckers.
I didn't even know T watched football, but
oh wow,
damn.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So serious time with my question in regards to the Panthers.
Yeah.
There's 2 questions. One, do you think that McCaffrey stays healthy? 2, do you think that Baker Mayfield can lead y'all to the playoffs?
I do think McCaffrey stays healthy this year. I definitely believe that. Baker, I think he's going to get to a slow start. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's going to get off to a slow start. Is he going to come out smoking red hot? I don't know. But as far as like getting us to the playoffs, I do believe he can get us there. I think he can get us those 9 wins.
Baker Mayfield?
I do.
So here's the thing. I think that the Panthers.
The defense was solid last year.
Because I think he's got that fresh start. I think it's a different Baker that we're used to seeing this time around. And I'm not just saying that because he's on the Panthers. If he was on another team, I would be saying the same thing. I just think we're going to get a different Baker this time around.
Okay.
I think he'll eventually he eventually may be good, but I think you guys need to lose your coach. I think your coach is holding back.
I have a question for Charles.
Yes.
Who are your first 3 games? Do you know the schedule?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
We'll get back to that, though.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
So the first 3 games are Browns, Giants, Saints.
Oh, okay.
I think they go 3-0. No, I think they go 3-0. No.
The Saints are going to be pretty tough, but the Giants and the Browns, yeah.
It's 2-1, sir. 2-1.
Yeah, the Giants and the Browns.
I might go to
take care of that.
I ain't going like that. Don't worry. But
I mean, you already coming to 1 game.
Yeah, the Panthers play at home against the Saints in September. So and I think that's
going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Man,
that'll be the test.
That's because the Panthers beat the Saints last year.
Yeah, week 2.
Yeah.
But with that, they were suffering from a ton of COVID cases.
We were.
And they were suffering from a ton of COVID cases, and then we know what happened 2 weeks later to the Panthers. Their season ended.
You know what? No. We ain't got to start that now. I done told you. We gotta let that go. Let it go.
Hey, yo, Charles, you want to make a bad game? You want to make a bet?
Nope. I'm already.
No, I got a bet for you.
No, we good.
Hey, yo, y'all play the Browns to open the season.
No.
Do y'all beat the Browns?
Yeah, we're gonna beat the Browns. We're gonna beat the Giants
with Jacoby Brissett. That should be a decent game.
It's gonna be a decent game, but we're gonna come out the winners.
Okay. We almost
the
have
Giants. You got a Giants fan in here.
Yeah, but they don't count.
Damn.
Listen, the Giants say the same thing every year. There's always excuses in the draft. There's always excuses why they don't win. It's always an excuse. I never hear anything positive coming from a Giants fan. Or they say, well, last year, their biggest hope is to beat the Commanders.
All right, real quick before we get out of here, because we about to go. Main focus. You got any rebut to what Charles just said?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wait! Before you rebut, you got 10 seconds, yo, and I'm cutting this joint off.
If I got 10 seconds, Charles, I'm coming for your head in season 6. After that mouthful of nothing, you supposed to be
we out. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Brother.
We gotta go. No.
I'm coming for your head.
I'm Anthony Adebayo. That's Scotty B. Yo, we out.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance? Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport. His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.